Ladies and gentlemen, every single person in this room is standing at a crossroads, not tomorrow, not next year. Right now, on one side, there is pain, the early mornings, the late nights, the discipline, the rejection, the hard work nobody claps for. On the other side, there is regret, the quiet voice in your head 10 years from now saying, what if I tried? What if I didn't quit? What if I gave it everything I had? And the truth is simple. You will choose one of them. Life doesn't give you the option to avoid both. The biggest mistake people make is believing that avoiding pain today will make life easier tomorrow. But the reality is the opposite. Every time you choose comfort over effort, every time you choose scrolling instead of building, sleeping instead of improving, complaining instead of acting, you are not escaping pain. You are scheduling regret. And regret is much heavier than pain. Pain wakes you up early. Regret keeps you up at night. Pain lasts for a moment. Regret can last for a lifetime. Think about this. The people who win are not smarter than everyone else. They are not luckier. They are simply the ones who were willing to feel uncomfortable longer than others. They worked when nobody was watching. They practiced when nobody cared. They kept going when everyone else stopped. While others were looking for motivation, they built discipline. While others were looking for shortcuts, they built skills. While others were waiting for the perfect moment, they started with what they had. And that is the difference between dreamers and doers. Dreamers talk about the future. Doers build it. The world today is full of opportunity. You have tools, knowledge, and access that people 20 years ago could only dream about. One of the biggest reasons people fail to grow is because they fall in love with comfort. Comfort feels good in the moment. It feels safe, relaxing, and easy. But the truth most people don't want to hear is that comfort slowly steals your potential. When life becomes too comfortable, you stop pushing yourself, you stop learning, and you stop improving. Think about it for a second. Every dream you have requires effort, discipline, and sacrifice. Success is never built inside the comfort zone. It is built in the moments when you feel tired but still keep working, when things are difficult but you refuse to quit, and when nobody believes in you but you continue anyway. Comfort tells you to sleep a little longer. Growth tells you to wake up and work on your goals. Comfort tells you to avoid risks and stay safe. Growth tells you to step into uncertainty and try something new. Comfort tells you to stay where things are easy. Growth demands that you challenge yourself and face the fear of failure. Most people choose comfort every day without even realizing it. They scroll through social media for hours, watch others succeed, and keep telling themselves that they will start tomorrow. But tomorrow turns into next week, next month, and sometimes even years. Slowly, dreams fade away not because people were incapable, but because they were too comfortable to chase them. Growth is uncomfortable by nature. When you are learning a new skill, it feels frustrating at first. When you are building something meaningful, there will be obstacles, rejection, and moments when you doubt yourself. But those uncomfortable moments are exactly where transformation happens. Muscles grow through resistance. Skills grow through practice. Confidence grows through challenges. If you look at people who achieve great things, they all share one common trait. They were willing to live with discomfort longer than others. They woke up earlier, worked harder, practiced more, and stayed consistent even when results were slow. While others were choosing entertainment and comfort, they were choosing effort and progress. Comfort is dangerous because it feels harmless in the moment. Watching one more video, skipping one workout, delaying one task, these things seem small, but when repeated every day, they slowly shape your future. Small, comfortable decisions today can create big regrets tomorrow. Growth, on the other hand, comes from small, disciplined actions. Reading a few pages every day, practicing a skill for an hour, learning something new, improving just a little bit daily. These actions may not feel exciting at first, but over time they create massive change. The reality is simple: you cannot grow and stay comfortable at the same time. If you want a stronger body, you must push your limits. If you want a successful career, you must take risks and work harder than expected. If you want to achieve your dreams, you must accept that the journey will sometimes be difficult. The people who succeed understand this truth early. They stop chasing comfort and start chasing progress. They accept that struggle is not a sign of failure, it is a sign of growth. Every challenge becomes a lesson, every mistake becomes experience, and every difficult moment becomes part of their story. Comfort may feel good today, but growth builds the life you want tomorrow. One of the hardest truths about success is that the rewards you want tomorrow require sacrifice today. Most people dream about freedom, achievement, and success, but very few are willing to accept the temporary pain required to get there. The reality is simple: short-term pain creates long-term freedom. Pain in this context does not mean suffering without purpose. It means the discipline to do what is necessary even when you do not feel like doing it. It is waking up early when your body wants to stay in bed. It is studying when others are relaxing. It is working on your goals while everyone else is distracted by entertainment. These moments are uncomfortable, but they are powerful because they build the foundation for your future. Many people spend their lives trying to avoid discomfort. They choose the easy path because it feels better in the moment. But the easy path often leads to a harder life later. Avoiding effort today usually means struggling tomorrow. Skipping learning today may mean fewer opportunities later. Ignoring discipline today may mean losing control over your future. Short-term pain, however, works in the opposite way. When you accept the challenge today, you are investing in a better tomorrow. Think about learning a skill. At first, it feels difficult and frustrating. You may make mistakes and feel slow, but with time, practice turns that difficulty into mastery. What was once painful becomes natural and rewarding. The same applies to building a career, improving your health, or creating something meaningful. The beginning is rarely easy. There will be moments of doubt, moments when progress feels slow, and moments when you question whether the effort is worth it. But every hour of focused work, every disciplined action, and every challenge you overcome is shaping a stronger version of yourself. The truth is that pain is temporary, but the results it creates can last a lifetime. The effort you put into education can open doors for years. The discipline you build in your habits can improve your health for decades. The courage you show in pursuing your dreams can change the direction of your entire life. Many successful people understand this principle deeply. They know that the price of success is paid up front. While others are seeking comfort and quick rewards, they are investing their time and energy into building something bigger. They understand that success is rarely about luck. It is about consistent effort over time. It is also important to remember that short-term pain builds more than just results. It builds character. It teaches patience, resilience, and determination. When you push through difficult moments, you learn how strong you really are. You discover that you are capable of more than you once believed. People who avoid challenges often miss this growth. They stay in familiar routines and safe situations, but they never experience the transformation that comes from pushing beyond their limits. Over time, this can lead to frustration and regret because deep down they know they never gave their full effort. Choosing short-term pain means choosing progress. It means understanding that every meaningful goal requires effort and persistence. The hours you spend learning, the sacrifices you make for your dreams, and the discipline you build in your daily habits are all investments in the freedom you want in the future. Freedom does not come from avoiding hard work. It comes from embracing the process, pushing through the temporary discomfort, and building the skills and strength that will support you for the rest of your life. One of the most powerful truths about life is that time is the most valuable asset we possess. Unlike money, opportunities, or possessions, time is the one thing that cannot be replaced once it is gone. You can lose money and earn it again. You can lose opportunities and create new ones. But a single moment of time, once passed, will never return. Every person on this planet receives the same 24 hours in a day. The difference between those who succeed and those who struggle is often not talent, intelligence, or luck. The real difference is how they choose to use their time. Some people invest their time in learning, building, and improving themselves. Others spend their time waiting, delaying, or distracting themselves with things that add little value to their lives. Time moves forward whether we are prepared or not. It does not slow down for our excuses, and it does not pause while we hesitate. Every day that passes is a chance either used or wasted. The small decisions we make about our time may seem insignificant at first, but over months and years, they create a powerful impact on our future. Many people underestimate the value of a single day. They believe that starting tomorrow will make no difference. They think they can wait for the perfect moment, the perfect mood, or the perfect situation. But the truth is that success is rarely built in perfect conditions. It is built by people who start today, even when circumstances are not ideal. When someone truly understands the value of time, their perspective begins to change. They become more careful about how they spend their hours. They begin to ask themselves important questions. Is this activity helping me grow? Is this conversation adding value to my life? Is this habit moving me closer to the future I want? Understanding the value of time does not mean eliminating rest or enjoyment from life. Rest is important for energy and balance. But there is a difference between purposeful rest and constant distraction. Purposeful rest refreshes your mind and prepares you to work better. Constant distraction slowly steals the hours that could have been used to build something meaningful. One of the greatest regrets people experience later in life is realizing how much time they wasted when they had the chance to use it wisely. They remember the dreams they delayed and the opportunities they ignored. Often, it is not lack of ability that stops people from reaching their potential. It is the careless use of their time. People who achieve great things usually develop a deep respect for time early in their journey. They understand that every hour invested in learning, practicing, or creating brings them closer to their goals. While others are waiting for motivation, they are already taking action. They do not treat time casually because they know it is the most limited resource they have. The power of time also lies in consistency. Small efforts repeated daily can lead to extraordinary results. Reading a little each day builds knowledge. Practicing a skill regularly builds mastery. Improving just 1% every day may seem small, but over a year it creates massive transformation. Time rewards those who use it with purpose. It quietly multiplies the efforts of disciplined people. At the same time, it slowly exposes the cost of procrastination and delay. The future that arrives tomorrow is built by the choices made today. Every moment is an opportunity to learn something new, take a step forward, or move closer to the life you imagine. When you begin to see time as your most valuable asset, you start treating each day not as something to pass, but as something to invest wisely. One of the most powerful shifts a person can make in life is moving from excuses to accountability. It is easy to blame circumstances, other people, or bad luck when things do not go the way we want. Excuses are comfortable because they protect us from feeling responsible for our failures. But while excuses may protect our feelings for a moment, they also prevent us from improving our future. Accountability means taking ownership of your life. It means accepting that your decisions, actions, and habits play a major role in the results you experience. This does not mean that life is always fair or that challenges do not exist. Everyone faces difficulties, limitations, and unexpected problems. However, accountability focuses not on what happened to you, but on how you respond to it. When people rely on excuses, they often say things like, "I don't have enough time," "I didn't have the right opportunities," or "someone else was responsible." These statements may sometimes contain truth, but they rarely lead to progress. Excuses keep people stuck because they shift the focus away from what they can control. Accountability does the opposite. It encourages a person to ask stronger questions. Instead of saying, "Why is this happening to me?" they ask, "What can I do to improve this situation?" Instead of blaming others, they look for ways to adapt, learn, and move forward. This mindset creates power because it places control back into the individual's hands. One of the most important benefits of accountability is personal growth. When you accept responsibility for your actions, you begin to recognize patterns in your behavior. You see which habits help you succeed and which ones hold you back. This awareness allows you to make better decisions in the future. For example, if someone fails an exam and immediately blames the teacher, they may never examine their own study habits. But if they take accountability, they might realize they did not prepare enough or manage their time effectively. That realization becomes an opportunity to improve. The next time they approach a challenge, they are better prepared because they learned from their mistake. Accountability also builds trust and credibility. People respect individuals who take responsibility for their actions. When someone admits their mistakes and works to correct them, it shows maturity and integrity. On the other hand, constantly blaming others often damages relationships and weakens confidence. Another powerful aspect of accountability is that it encourages action. When a person believes they are responsible for their progress, they become more motivated to improve their situation. They stop waiting for perfect conditions and start creating opportunities through effort and persistence. Excuses often come from fear. People fear failure, criticism, or disappointment, so they create reasons not to try. However, accountability requires courage. It asks you to face your weaknesses honestly and commit to becoming better. This process may feel uncomfortable at first, but it is essential for meaningful progress. The truth is that every successful person has faced setbacks and obstacles. What separates them from others is not that their journey was easier, but that they chose responsibility over excuses. They accepted that while they could not control everything that happened to them, they could control how they responded. When people adopt an accountable mindset, they stop viewing challenges as barriers and start seeing them as lessons. Mistakes become opportunities to learn. Failures become stepping stones toward improvement. Over time, this attitude builds resilience and confidence. Accountability empowers individuals to shape their own path. Instead of waiting for circumstances to change, they focus on changing themselves. They recognize that progress begins with the simple decision to take ownership of their actions and commit to continuous improvement. One of the biggest reasons people fail to achieve their goals is not a lack of talent, intelligence, or opportunity. It is the habit of waiting for the perfect moment. Many people spend years planning, thinking, and preparing, but they never truly begin. They believe everything must be perfect before they take action. The truth, however, is that progress always beats perfection. Perfection is an illusion that often hides fear. When people say they are waiting for the perfect plan, the perfect timing, or the perfect conditions, what they are really doing is delaying action. They fear making mistakes, being judged, or failing in front of others. So instead of moving forward, they stay stuck in preparation. Action changes everything. The moment you start doing something, you begin learning in ways that thinking alone can never teach you. Real experience comes from trying, experimenting, and sometimes failing. Every step you take reveals new information that helps you improve. Consider any skill that people develop over time. No one begins as an expert. The first attempt is usually slow, awkward, and imperfect. But through practice and repetition, improvement begins to happen. If someone refuses to start until they are perfect, they will never even take the first step toward mastery. Progress happens through small, consistent actions. Writing a single page each day eventually becomes a book. Practicing a skill for an hour daily eventually leads to expertise. Improving just a little bit every day may seem insignificant at first, but over time it creates powerful results. What matters most is not perfection in a single moment, but steady progress over many days. One of the most valuable lessons in life is understanding that mistakes are part of the process. Every mistake carries a lesson that helps you grow stronger and smarter. When people focus too much on perfection, they often avoid mistakes completely, which means they also avoid learning. Those who succeed understand that action brings clarity. Instead of waiting until they know everything, they start with what they know now. As they move forward, they adjust their approach, learn from feedback, and gradually refine their work. The process of doing teaches them what planning alone never could. Another important reason action matters more than perfection is momentum. When you take action regularly, you create a rhythm of progress. Each small achievement builds confidence and motivation. This momentum makes it easier to keep moving forward even when challenges appear. On the other hand, waiting for perfection often leads to stagnation. The longer someone delays starting, the harder it becomes to begin. Doubt grows stronger, fear increases, and the goal starts to feel further away. What could have been a small step forward becomes a missed opportunity. People who achieve meaningful success rarely start with perfect conditions. They start with limited knowledge, limited resources, and sometimes even uncertainty. What sets them apart is their willingness to begin anyway. They trust that effort and persistence will help them improve along the way. Progress also builds resilience. When you take action, you face challenges directly. These experiences strengthen your ability to handle setbacks and adapt to change. Over time, this resilience becomes one of your greatest strengths because it allows you to continue growing even in difficult situations. Taking action is ultimately a decision to value growth over fear. It means accepting that the path forward may not always be smooth or flawless, but it will move you closer to your goals. Every step, no matter how small, becomes part of a larger journey toward improvement and achievement. True progress is not about getting everything right the first time. It is about showing up consistently, learning from experience, and moving forward with determination. Give me short conclusion of this speech. Life always gives us a choice. We can choose comfort or growth, excuses or responsibility, waiting or action. Every day, through our decisions, we are shaping the future we will live in. The pain of discipline may feel difficult today, but it builds strength, opportunity, and freedom tomorrow. The time we use wisely becomes the foundation of our success, and the actions we take, even when they are imperfect, move us closer to the life we truly want. In the end, the greatest regret is not failure. The greatest regret is never trying, never pushing beyond comfort, and never believing enough in your own potential. So take responsibility for your time, take action despite fear, and embrace the challenges that help you grow. Because the choice is always the same: pain now or regret forever. Thank you.